And a Hindu teacher's home was set ablaze in Sylhet, Gojwengat's Upzela, rising fresh fears for Bangladesh's minority community. Birendra Kumar Dey, known as Junu Sir, and his family narrowly escaped the fire with no injuries being reported, but the cause and perpetrators remain unknown. This attack is part of a disturbing pattern targeting minority households across Bangladesh. Recent incidents include multiple arson attacks in Chittagong, Pirojapur, and the brutal lynching of a garment worker in Mymensingh. Local residents and activists are calling for stronger protections and thorough investigations. India has urged the Bangladeshi government to act decisively, criticising recurring attacks and the attribution of violence to personal or political disputes. Joining us now once again is Major Gigi Dividi. Of course, this is seemingly now a pattern. What does this tell us about the ongoing unrest in Bangladesh and the minorities who are seemingly and allegedly being targeted?
Absolutely, Thomas. After Sheikh Hasina's exit and since the unionist government has come to power, the atrocities against the minorities, especially the Hindu community, has increased multifold. And there have been instances after instances, and you have rightly said that there's a pattern involved vandalizing the places of worship, lynching, and the recent case was Dipu Das, where they actually not only lynched but also burnt his mortal remains, and abductions are there, then targeting the properties of Hindu minorities, the business. All this is being done in a very systematic manner. I would say it is part of the ethnic cleansing that is going on. And I follow Bangladesh very closely, having taken part in the Bangladesh Liberation War. You know, at the time in 1971, when we were there as a armed forces, the Hindu minority was about 23% of the Bangladesh population. And today it has been reduced to 8%. Barely 13 million Hindus are left now in Bangladesh. The point I'm trying to make is that this is a very systematic pattern that has been there, but it has gained momentum after Yunus government came to power, and they apparently not heeding to the either the advice or the warnings given by Indian government. Perhaps the government stand is slightly lukewarm, and I think Indian government has to come very strongly. After all, where will the Hindus go? There are 13 million of them, and in case they are not protected or feel secure, there will be mass exodus into India, like what happened in 1971.
Okay.
Thomas.
Why is this happening now, this recent surge of attacks, with at least 15 Hindus killed in the last 45 days, according to recent rights groups reports, the significant one, Samir Das, that you have mentioned. What is the catalyst for this surge? What's happened?
Well, Thomas, there are a couple of things. Firstly, after Sheikh Hasina's exit, under Yunus government, there's a lawlessness in Bangladesh, and the radical elements are calling the shots. The second issue is that elections are on today, and Hindus are largely inclined towards Awami League, and therefore politically they'll be targeting all those elements which are either supporting the independent candidates of Awami League or otherwise not towing the line of the radicals. And the third point is that it is part of the ethnic cleansing, changing the demographics. That is the larger game plan, because even from Bangladesh there have been lot demographic indentation into the bordering districts of India. So all these things, when you see combined, these radical elements are emboldened because there's no law to implicate them, and they are having a free run, and many a times they are also resolving or personal animosities under this garb. So the point is that today it's a weak government that is in place in Bangladesh. They have no control over the law and order. and the rowdy elements, radical elements are calling the shots, and the victims are the minorities, especially the Hindu community. Thomas.
And what implications could this have for the wider Indian subcontinent and, of course, relations between neighbouring India and Bangladesh?
Well, relation between India and Bangladesh has nosedived after Yunus government came to power, because the Yunus government has cozied up to Pakistan, and there's a lot of anti-India propaganda that is going on. It is also cozied up to China, and China has a huge footprint today in Bangladesh. So overall, the stance of Yunus government have been very much anti-India, and also Yunus has encouraged the radical elements. Yunus is also not a very secular person by his mindset or by his dealings. And the point is that all this are having serious implications. And today, let me tell you that for India, it's a very serious security situation, because our connectivity to the northeast is through a very narrow corridor, Siliguri corridor, and Bangladesh geographically sits on it. And also Bangladesh have been making a lot of overtures into Bay of Bengal. You know, recently there was a Pakistani naval ship Saif, which docked at Chittagong, which happened after more than 50 years. And the kind of military delegation exchanges that are taking place between Bangladesh and Pakistan is a serious worry. And also Bangladesh is going to buy JF-17 aircraft, which are going to be trained by the Pakistani pilots. So all this is a very, very serious situation. All I can say is that the situation is not in conducive or in interest of Bangladesh. It's time the Bangladesh mend its ways, or otherwise I am sure that Indian government one day will come very heavily, and that price Bangladesh will have to pay, because after all, no nation can accept its security being jeopardized. Thomas.
Major General Gigi Davidi, thank you very much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.